But there is something that has always annoyed me. And this happened a couple years ago, like 5 years ago or so. So 5 years ago, my daughter, she wanted a dollhouse. I think she was 2 or 3 at the time, and she wanted a dollhouse. So, Santa Claus to bring her a dollhouse. So I said, okay. So I looked around for different dollhouses, and I found a lot of cute ones on Fisher-Price. So Fisher-Price had a dollhouse, very, very nice. It was pink, and it comes with a lot of different, you gotta buy extra, like different furniture sets, like one for the kitchen, one for the bedroom, one for the bathroom. Very nice, like chairs, tables, beds, couches, TV sets, very nice. So I'm trying to do my research to figure out which one to buy. So I found the dollhouse, but there were 2 dollhouses that looked exactly the same. Had the same price, but they had a different part number or SKU number. And I'm thinking like, okay, maybe this is an error, right? Because I want to make sure I get the right thing. So I later figured out, it didn't take long, that there was one dollhouse. Then there was the African American version of the same dollhouse. I said, what do you mean African American version? What are you talking about? It's the same dollhouse. Well, here's what it means. I found out that the regular dollhouse, it comes with a family, a mommy, a daddy, and 2 twins, a boy and a girl, representing a family. Great. But they're Caucasian. So you can imagine for the African American version of the same dollhouse, but the family is black. Okay. You're like, okay, so what? Where's the Asian version of the same dollhouse? Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Laos. Where's the Latino version, the Hispanic version? Where's the interracial version? Okay, that's probably pushing it though. But why not the other cultures? There's just the white version and there's the black version. There's no Asian version, there's no Indian version, there's no Hispanic version. That felt very weird to me. So I did some Google searches and I was like, what's going on with that? That sounds very strange for there just to be a black version. That sounds very strange to me. Well, there were protests and arguments about that because what? This dollhouse represents America. What, you think America is only composed of white people? It's also composed of black people. Well, who would actually fight for that? Who will be advocates towards that? I don't see Asians or Hispanics doing that. The type 2 community would make a voice about that. They will make a voice about why aren't there dollhouses or characters that represents other people in this country like black people. What's up with that? And enough of that continues and trickles. What happens? They solve that by, okay, fine. We'll use the same dollhouse. That's no extra cost to us. But for the family, we'll just have the same family, but we will paint them brown. Okay, that keeps them quiet now. Problem solved, right? Everybody's happy now. That does not solve the problem. That just basically just made them do something to make you quiet. My problem with that is, no, then where's the other versions of that? If black people fought, if the type 2s fought, where's the black family version? No, why not all family versions? Why didn't you fight for other groups? No, of course not. You just cared about representing just, your culture. I have such a big problem with that. So the bottom line was I got the dollhouse with the white family. I teach my kids nothing about color. That is something that we do not talk about in our household. It's not about color. It's all about character. That is how I was taught from my mom and dad. This is not about color. If you make it about color, then they're going to see you about color and not who you really are. And my grandparents were the exact same way. They never talked about color. They said, yes, bad things happen, racist things happen, but you don't think about it, you don't talk about it, you focus on what is important for yourself. Don't dangle the little carrot and say, hey, I'm black. Look over here, I'm black. I want to make sure you know that. Don't do that. That's what I've learned, and it has really been something I've really benefit from. You don't make it about color. But the African American version of the dollhouse just always bothered me because it did not represent the other cultures in our country that live here today. And that, of course, applies to television shows. Come on, you see this all the time, even in commercials or something like that. Like you may watch like a commercial for Olive Garden, and there's, this white couple and a black couple and they're eating dinner. What? That looks strange to me. I feel like it's shoehorned, like they're meeting a requirement. My daughter likes strawberry shortcake, or she used to a long time ago. And one of the characters is black. That's Orange Blossom. But the other characters, at least early on, they're like all white. And it just looks so weird to me. It feels shoehorned. It does not feel authentic. It feels like, oh my gosh, they're meeting a requirement. And the same for Tinkerbell. One of the characters is black. I think one of them is also Asian, I think. I don't know all the fairies, so I apologize. But it just feels very strange to me. But it felt like they were meeting a requirement because the type 2 community is very vocal about being included in this particular world, in cartoons, in toys. And that's fine and all, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel authentic because I don't see that in the real world. I don't. I see people stick together based on their group associations. I don't see like, oh, there's 2 white people and there's 2 black people. I rarely see that. Rarely see that. Now it's very funny though because one of my best friends, he's Asian, and his wife is Caucasian. Well, I'm black and my wife is also Caucasian, so we're like a very interesting couple when we go out. But that's very rare. I rarely see that. And that's the world that I always see. And commercial, it just feels like it's not authentic. It's not real. That is not what I see in the real world. Not even close. So yes, I understand being included, but that's not the reality of what's being portrayed at all in the real world. The different type of black people, a type 1, a type 2, and a type 3, this is something that the black community has always known about, but they didn't know how to classify it. So basically, I'm giving it the classification and what the different groups, what they represent. But this is something that the black community has always known about and are becoming more vocal about it. Example, Raven. Raven was doing an interview with Oprah, and she said very clearly that she sees herself as an American. She doesn't see herself as a black person, as a gay black person, no, she's an American. She does not focus on color. She focuses on the person themselves. Also, a couple weeks ago, Charles Barkley, the basketball player, he made a particular comment that he's tired of particular black people holding back other black people or giving them a bad name. So I saw that and I was thinking, what is he referring to? Is he referring to a type 3 or a type 2 holding back a type 1? I'm actually very curious. I think he's referring to a type 2 holding back or giving a bad name to a type 1 black person, which is not centric around color, where a type 1 is very centric around black culture. So I don't know. I think he was referring to a type 2 in that they need to stop doing what they're doing and basically not give a type 1 a bad name. I don't know. His comment was very strange to me, and a lot of black people agree with his comment. Well, yes, the type 1s agreed with that. One particular person, I think he was on CNN or something like that. I forgot his name, but he's a type 1, and he agreed with that. So that's what gave me the impression that he's saying, yes, the type 2s are giving a bad name for the type 1s out there. So again, that's another controversial concept that's floating out there of, is this causing a new battle between a type 1 and a type 2? I hope not. But that definitely caused some tension between these two different groups. Here's the bottom line. The different types, they technically exist in all of the other races. They really do. And remember, I talked about this in a different video, but I talked about we all identify with different groups based on what and who we are. If you are a middle class person, you will represent and protect the middle class economic group. If you are a Democrat or a liberal, you will represent and protect that ideology group. If you're a woman, like Emma Watson, she made some pro-woman speech in the UN. Well, she's a woman. I would expect that. She is representing her group. We always want to protect and to empower the group that we are in. So why would you be mad if a black person, a type 2, want and believe in being advocates for the group that they represent, knowing the culture and the history that they have in this country? Why be mad about them? Because you know that, there's nothing wrong with that. Like when we talk about immigration, who really talks about immigration? Who's more passionate about immigration? Hispanics. Because it really pertains to the Latino Hispanic community. That's what it pertains to. I don't see a lot of Asians or black people passionately talking about immigration. It is a component that is that is for Hispanics that they're very passionate about. That's really what matters. I remember I talked about with my friends in college that they found the Civil War boring. Learning about the American Civil War was something boring to them. And I said, is it because it was kind of centric around black culture? They said, well, kind of. Well, don't be mad because there's probably a lot of Asian culture that you don't know about. Most black people don't know about the actual camps that were set up for the Japanese during World War II. A lot of black people don't know about that because it didn't pertain to them. We learn about the things that we are a part of. We all do that. Senior citizens, they care about basically their medical care because that pertains to them. They don't care about, what's happening for us. No. That's the reality. We all represent the groups that we're a part of. So we can criticize the type 2 black communities because they probably have the loudest and the strongest voice out of anyone else. Well, guess what? Same thing for the gay community. They're very strong advocates about gay rights. They are, because that pertains to them and having equality. That's common sense though. If you are a middle class person and there's something that is threatening your middle class status, you'll be very vocal about it. You will protect that. You probably won't do that for lower class communities or upper class communities because you're not part of that group. We all represent the groups that we are a part of. We all do that. So we shouldn't be mad about a type 2 because you would do the exact same thing, but probably at a different volume. And that's it. Let me wrap this up with some final points here. So I'm not trying to cause any kind of controversy with what I'm talking about here. I've been very neutral of describing the different classifications. I have a lot of family members that live in Mississippi. And yes, they're type 2s. And they're very smart. They're very passionate about what they actually believe in, what they do. They're very strong advocates for Michael Brown. Now, I never communicated this clearly, so I want to do that now. What do I represent? You probably know by now. I made a lot of hints towards that. I am a type 1 black person in this country. I never emphasize or talk about color. That's how I was raised. That's how I approach life all the time and has been very effective for me. Now, I'm not ashamed to be black, This is the question that I have always asked people. And ask yourself the same question. Knowing what you know now, if you could go back in time and there was some magical way that you could change what race or sex you would be, would you accept the race and the sex that you are, or would you prefer a different race? Sure, I'm guessing a lot of black people will probably say, yeah, I wish I was probably white. It would make things a lot easier. And it's okay to think that way, no problem. But me personally, I am very happy with who I am. Yes, I see a lot of people making racial remarks. It was the 2014 midterm elections, and I was on the Young Turks live channel. And they had like this little chat thing. Like people, I don't know what their purpose for that was. And there were people saying the N-word a lot. So I responded and said, oh, they're internet trolls. Well, let me tell you something right now. If you're watching this video, if you're still watching this video right now, and you're not too enraged, if you like saying the N-word, let me give you a reality check here. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't bother black people at all. It is such an old legacy word, and it just shows the ignorance and the unintelligence of you. That's all it does. It doesn't bother black people anymore. If anything, it's more comical. So when I see people say particular things about black people, that doesn't really, I don't get upset about that. I'm like, okay, they're an internet troll, or they're just unintelligent. That doesn't bother people anymore. I just want to let you know that it doesn't bother people at all. So, and I really think people say that because they want to get under your skin. They think that is the magic word that's going to get people pissed off. No, actually it doesn't. You'll be really surprised how people, that word is just like whatever. Because I think we know that you're saying that to get people upset. It does nothing anymore. So I just want to give that little bit of a tidbit in there, because I see that all the time, or I see a lot of injustice towards black people. That doesn't really bother me. I don't feel bad or like, well, I wish I was white. No, I'm very happy and proud of who I am. I would make no changes at all with that at all. I'm just being honest. Yes, maybe if I was under a different circumstance, that could be different. I don't know. But I'm very happy with who I am. But again, I am a type 1. I never emphasize about color. And that's how I teach my kids. It's all about what's on the inside and about the person. And when you're dangling that carrot, you're dangling, saying, hey, look at this. Look at my skills. Look how smart I am. Look at that, not my color. That's what's very important. And I found that very successful in my career, and why I have always been promoted, because I focus on my skills and my skill set, not about color. That's what's important to me. Again, I don't want to criticize a type 2 because that's what they believe in. There's nothing wrong with that. I mentioned many times before that we all make different choices with what we want to do, who we want to be, what we want to fight for. It's all good though. There's nothing wrong with that. I can't change the world. I can't change you. I don't want to change you. I can only change and control the things that I have an influence towards. So, but yes, I'm going to have another video that will be coming out very soon that really will discuss what I really think about the United States of America and talk about it neutrally. And all the things that I see, the issues that I see, is because how the country was initially formed. And it will continue like this because that is how this country was established. I want to thank you for watching this long segment of the MT Doctrine and talking about the 3 different types of black people. I'm very sure I'm going to have a lot more add-ons to this particular topic, and I will add that in future videos. So this will be basically part 1. And I will add others in the future though. But this is something I just wanted to communicate of an observation to help the world or the country to know that among my people, that there's 3 different classifications, each with different ideologies and how we view the world. Okay, I don't care about type 3. I don't like bad people. I like good people. I believe in good people because we do the right thing. That's what's actually very important. Thank you for watching this video. There's more to come. Please subscribe to my channel. That'll be fantastic. And I will see you next time.